Welcome to the National Catholic College Admission Association and Jesuit Education Tour virtual college fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here to talk with you today. My name is Danielle, and before we get started, I want to go through a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our panelists at any time throughout the session. This is just one of the many different sessions that has taken place, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. And finally, I want to remind you that this recording will be available at strivescan.com/NCCAA. Wonderful. I'd now like to turn it over to our panelists to discuss myths about attending a Catholic college.
Hello, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we welcome you to the Jesuit Excellence Tour and Catholic College presentation. So we are going to go ahead and start with our presentation. And so we will have everyone go through and introduce themselves, starting with Amber.
Hello, everybody. My name is Amber. I'm a senior admissions counselor at Caldwell University. Caldwell is located in Caldwell, New Jersey, which is in North Jersey. Very small school, small class sizes, a very beautiful campus with over 30 majors to choose from. We are, of course, a Catholic university. And if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask me at the end. Thank you.
All right. I think I'm next. I am Amy Sembor, Senior Associate Dean of Admission at Providence College. And I also want to thank you for being with us tonight. Providence College is located in Providence, Rhode Island. We are actually a Dominican institution. We're the only college in the country run by the Dominican Friars, but we are a Catholic school, of course, just about 4,000 students. And we have over 50 different majors, everything from our School of Business, which is right behind me here in our photo, and liberal arts majors, professional studies, which include education, social work, etc. So I look forward to sharing more information with you later tonight.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Dominik. I'm one of the assistant directors of admissions at Regis University. Thank you all for joining us today. But Regis is located in Denver, Colorado, just about 10 minutes outside of the city, 30 minutes from the mountains. So city person, outdoor person, whatever you want to do, you can do it at Regis. We have over 40 majors, some of our big ones, nursing, business, neuroscience, kind of all over the board there. We are a small school, right around 2,000 undergraduate students, so nice small class sizes, right around 18. Really will get to know your professor and kind of develop that relationship. And then we are also test optional for all applicants this year and forever moving forward. My contact info will be at the end, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out in the chat or email later on.
Great, thank you. And I am Stephanie Sapansky-Dugo. I'm one of the assistant directors for admission at St. Louis University. We are located in St. Louis, Missouri, as well as in Madrid, Spain. And so I am happy to share more information we'll share momentarily. So the first thing we wanted to do is just kind of go over what we're going to do tonight. So our agenda is we're going to actually all tell you a little bit more about our schools so you know exactly who's presenting and have just information about us. And then we're going to go through 8 different myths and debunk them for you about attending a Catholic institution. And then, of course, we're going to open it up for questions and answers. Now, as our facilitator had mentioned, you can drop questions in that Q&A at any point in time. So we would really encourage you to do that. We would love to answer any questions that you have. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and have Amber tell us a little bit about her school.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Stephanie. So again, Caldwell is located in Caldwell, New Jersey. So we're north. So we're about, I'd say, 25 to 30 minutes from New York, and that's a graduate students with over 30 majors to choose from. And some of our most popular are nursing, which has a 100% success rate, along with education. And we have biology, business, criminal justice is a really big one, and music is a really big one as well. We have 3 different dorms for residence life. Students can have cars on campus, and it's free to have your car on campus with an unlimited meal plan, and there's always something for you to do to get involved on campus. Thank you.
Okay, so I will go next again. As I said, Amy Sembor. Providence College is located in Providence, Rhode Island. So we do have very much a campus community, but we are about 3 minutes away from downtown Providence. So in my opinion, you have the best of both worlds. You have very much, as I said, a campus community. We have just about 4,100 students. We are an undergraduate focused institution with about 500 or so grad students. Much like what Amber said, we have small classes. Average class size is just about 20 students. And the students and faculty really get to work together and know each other. We don't have TAs teaching any of the classes. And the focus really is on engaged learning, working with faculty members, doing hands-on research. Study abroad is also something that's very popular amongst our students. With over 50 majors, our most popular majors tend to be the 4 business majors, so accountancy, finance, management, and marketing, as well as biology and psychology in our School of Arts and Sciences. That's where you tend to find a lot of our students, but I think some of our most interesting majors are some of the smaller ones, right? So something called health policy management, and we actually have a public and community service major as well. So the opportunity, yes, to major in service is something that is a possibility at PC. So those students also really get involved and engaged being in the city of Providence as well. There are 11 colleges and universities in Rhode Island. 8 of them have campuses in Providence. So it's very much a college town. And being the smallest state in the union, we actually have 1 public bus system for the entire state. So our students can take the bus for free from campus right into downtown Providence. As I said, it's a few minutes away. And then they could change buses and go down to Newport, Rhode Island, or go visit friends at one of the other colleges in the state as well. We're Division I in our athletics. Our Friars are Division I athletes who are, play on national television quite often. So the call Go Friars usually is how we end pretty much everything that we do on campus. Our men's basketball team plays right downtown in our civic center to about 12,000 people. We can't possibly have them play on campus because our facility is just a little too small. But every other one of our 14 Division I teams do play on campus. So you can walk over, watch a hockey game, or watch a softball game, whatever it might be that you want to cheer on your friends and engage with others. So I will turn it over to Dominik and let him tell you a little bit about Regis, but hopefully you'll be able to learn more about our individual institutions a little bit later.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, Regis University, like I said, we're located in Denver, Colorado. We are Colorado's only Jesuit Catholic university. So if you want a Catholic college in Colorado, welcome to Regis. We're your choice. So kind of a little bit about Colorado, Denver, because we are really proud of our location. We're 10 minutes outside of the city, so kind of far enough away that doesn't feel like you're in a city, but really close. 15-minute bike ride, 10-minute drive to downtown, to a really cool, vibrant, mid-sized city. And then again, if you're an outdoors person, the mountains 30 minutes away, skiing, snowboarding, hiking, all that stuff. You can go a little further into the mountains, an hour away, and it's amazing. A lot of our student life will kind of focus around our location. A lot of students go into the city to explore. We also have our outdoor adventure program, which is our biggest club activity on campus. It essentially gives students the ability to go into the mountains, explore Colorado, do all these really cool things for a fraction of the cost that it would cost for them to do it on your own. So really cool opportunities there. For academics, we have over 40 majors. Some of our most popular and our best program is nursing. We do have a direct entry nursing program, meaning if you get into that program, just kind of check some boxes your first 2 years, do well academically, you have a guaranteed seat in that nursing program come your junior year. We also, some other popular ones are our business program, which puts a really big focus on kind of real world experiences through internships and other opportunities in Denver. Denver's economy is still doing well, so some really cool opportunities for internships in the city. Neuroscience is really big. It is also one of the oldest bachelor programs in neuroscience in the country, so some really cool opportunities there. And we're kind of past that new phase of a new program that a lot of schools are going through right now with neuroscience. So we're just kind of full steam ahead. And then we have kind of anything else you would want. Pre-med is popular, peace and justice studies, history, politics, education, we have it all, whatever. And then, but we do give students 2 years to officially declare your major. It's kind of 2 years, figure it out and see what you want to study, and then declare at the end of that sophomore year. We do have small class sizes, right around 18 students. You're really going to get to know your professor, which is an amazing resource kind of down the road, jobs, internships, research opportunities, all of that. All of our faculty really do a good job being invested in you during your 4 years at Regis. They want to help you succeed academically, but they also want to help you kind of form into the best version of yourself possible. So really an engaged faculty that are looking out for you and want to help you succeed in your 4 years. I think quickly, just with our application process, 2 things. We are enrolling admissions, so no like official deadlines, just apply whenever, earlier the better. And we are test optional for all programs. That includes our nursing program. So that's a little bit about Regis. So I will turn it over to Stephanie.
Awesome, thanks so much. So as I was mentioning, St. Louis University is a medium-sized Catholic Jesuit school. We are located in St. Louis, Missouri, as well as in Madrid, Spain. So you can actually go to either campus for all 4 years. But I always typically start with that we are a Division I doctoral extensive high research activity institution by Carnegie Mellon, just because I think that gives you a good overview of the institution. So Division I, meaning Division I athletics. We have 18 different Division I sports. We're the only Division I school in the city of St. Louis. We are in the Atlantic 10 Conference, and of course we're the Billikens, so I couldn't let you attend any part of a SLU presentation that doesn't have that. The Billiken is always one of the most unique mascots, but it is a good luck charm. The doctoral extensive means that you can start as an undergrad and go all the way through to your doctorate. And then the high research activity is what makes us kind of unique. So we are one of about 150 colleges and universities that have that designation, which means our faculty are required to do research, which means you can do research with them. And we're one of about a handful of Catholic institutions that have that. And so we really have the resources of a larger state institution with a smaller school feel. What I mean by that is that we are medium sized. So our total enrollment is just over 12,000. Undergraduates is just around 8,000. However, our average class size is about 26 and our student to faculty ratio is 9-to-1. So a true medium sized school. We do have 11 colleges and nearly 100 different undergraduate majors for you to choose from, all of which are direct entry. So engineering, business, health sciences, public health, all of that. There are 3 majors that we call direct entry only that are competitive freshman entry. And that's our 6-year doctorate of physical therapy, our 5-year master's of occupational therapy, as well as our direct entry nursing program. So we do have our own hospital and our own medical school. Actually, there's 2 hospitals on our campus for our students to take advantage of. We are in year 2 of our 3-year trial of being test optional. So you can apply for admission, scholarship, all of our honors and scholars programs as test optional. We do have 3 pathways to apply: early decision, early action, and regular decision. And I'm happy to answer any questions about those. But we are located in the city of St. Louis. So we are a very traditional college campus in the heart of a city, meaning when you're on campus, sometimes you don't even realize you're in the city. It's kind of like a little oasis, but we're intentionally there to also take advantage of everything that the great city of St. Louis has to offer. Again, we are offering visits, so we would encourage you to come visit or reach out, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have about SLU or the application process. So I'm going to go ahead, that's all I have. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go on to our first myth, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Amber.
Thanks, Stephanie. All right, so the first myth is I have to be Catholic to attend a Catholic school. And that could not be further from the truth. And you guys are welcome to join in if you like. Just have to be Catholic to attend a Catholic school. We have students that are Catholic, Christian. We even have students that don't even declare a religion. They might just be spiritual. On top of that, at Caldwell, we have this place called the Hall of Flags, and we represent students from all type of even cultural and ethnic backgrounds. So every time we have a student come here from another country, we actually hang a flag for where they're from. So literally everybody is going to be celebrated in their own way. When you go to a Catholic school, you're really just learning about what the faith of the school is built off of. And a growing number of students at Caldwell are actually not Catholic. A lot of families that send their children to Catholic schools, they're really just looking for that nurturing environment that a Catholic school offers. And they also look for that spiritual and emotional growth, because a lot of the times Catholic schools are very family oriented and they represent community, which is really important. Thank you.
Okay. So myth number 2 is mine. That is, I will have to go to Mass if I attend a Catholic college. And that is not true. I know that a number of you out there probably attend Catholic high school or go to Mass with your family on the weekends. So it certainly is an opportunity to continue to go to Mass and to grow in your faith, but it's not an obligation at most of our schools. It's certainly, I always find it challenging to do broad answers to say definitively you don't have to do this or that at every college in the country. So I encourage you to ask the question at the schools that you do visit. But in general, I think the assumption that you have to go to Mass, or someone's going to be checking you in for Mass, as they would do for a Catholic high school, is not true. I know at Providence College, it actually ends up being a kind of a social event for our students. On Sunday nights, there is what they call the Last Chance Mass at 10 p.m. in our beautiful chapel, and it's packed. And, the students who sing will sing at Mass, and there are student lectors. And after Mass downstairs, they're in the Campus Ministry Center. They have pizza and all kinds of snacks where students take a study break and kind of recharge and reflect and reset before going to bed and then starting the school week on Monday morning. So, that is something that students actually, I think, look forward to having that quiet time in that quiet space. But it certainly is not an obligation. And as Amber said, not everybody's Catholic, right? So it's not something that everybody is going to want to do. And you may have friends who aren't Catholic who do want to come with you to Mass as well and explore and see what service is like. Besides, you're an adult now. You're 18, you're living on your own in most cases when you go to college. So these are your choices and you get to decide sort of what your path is going to be. And I know at PC anyway, the priests who do the homilies for us, they're speaking to the students. They're speaking to where they are in their journey, the stressors that come with being a college student, the challenges during midterms and all of those sorts of things. So I know that sometimes the students really find solace in the message. It's not like going to, your local church if you go on the weekends, and hearing a more general or more broad message. So I will stop there. And if any of my colleagues want to chime in with something that is different or in addition to what I've said, feel free to do so.
One of the things I'll just add is typically our campus ministry offices will also help you find places of worship. So for all of any type of faith background, they will help you find places of worship near campus. and also help you get there typically, depending on the institution. So it's a really great question to ask. And I think it's really important to ask. But typically we are a home to all faiths is what I always say. So absolutely great, great myth to debunk. Thank you.
All right, myth number 3. I will have to take Catholicism courses since we're listing it as a myth. Obviously not true. Again, same as Amy, I don't want to speak for every college out there because I'm sure there's some outliers. For the most part, there's not a Catholic course Bible study that is required to take. If you want to find those classes and that's something you're interested in pursuing, we definitely offer them. We are a Catholic college, so they are out there for students to find. But for the most part, and at Regis, I'll speak in my experience as I work at Regis, we do have some religious studies requirements, which is pretty similar to a lot of schools. But those courses are more broad, kind of like a history of world religions types courses, not necessarily courses in Catholicism. And just kind of, I did this because I wanted to know. I looked up Regis's course catalog to see what are those courses that could fulfill that requirement. And just 2 that I thought were really cool were theology, politics, and religion. And it was like a broad overview of how those mingle. And then liberation theologies, which is another snazzy title, but just kind of different courses. And then kind of a pivoting to a different direction here that's kind of related. Well, we might not be taking courses in Catholicism. One way these colleges kind of handle that is a lot of the values of Catholicism are brought into the class. So at Regis, there's a big focus on kind of social justice. So we'll kind of be talking about social justice, community service, all that stuff in different classes. So not necessarily a Catholic course, but we're bringing in those values to the course. If any of my colleagues have anything extra to say, feel free to jump in.
Sure. I'll say that at Providence College, similarly, we have the students are required as part of the core curriculum to take 2 theology courses. And, students, if you dig in a little more deeply, you'll see theology really is an academic study of religion in general and kind of the philosophy behind it. So much like what Dominik was saying, we have a world religions course a student can choose. We have New Testament or Old Testament, those kinds of courses. So again, it's about choice and it's about opportunity. And it's 2 courses that students take and choose from over the course of their time. So again, not like Catholic high school where, it's a little more prescribed of what you're taking. I can still flash back 30 years ago to, my courses that I took over at St. Raphael's. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to see all of the different kinds of opportunities that students have available to them.
All right, so the number 4 one is that Catholic schools are so expensive. And so yes and no is what I will tell you. So yes, our sticker price, when you look at that original number, the tuition, the room and board, that might be a lot higher than maybe your in-state public schools, different things like that. But one of the things that I think is so great about Catholic as well as Jesuit schools is that typically you're automatically considered for merit-based aid, right? So you're automatically considered for those merit-based scholarships. Sometimes there is a separate application. So that is another couple great questions to ask during the process is what is the process for awarding scholarship? Some schools will make you fill out a separate application. Some schools will have it automatic. At SLU, it's both. You're automatically considered for merit, and then there's 2 other scholarships you can apply for. In addition to that, Catholic schools typically do offer some need-based assistance, right? So you could fill out the free application for federal student aid or the CSS profile. So that's another really great question to ask when considering different schools is what financial aid form that you have to fill out. So when you fill out that FAFSA, it gives you an expected family contribution. And then based on that, their financial aid office is going to send you a financial aid award. And so typically in that financial aid award, you might have, depending on your family's situation, you might have scholarship You might have grant assistance, both of which is money you don't have to pay back. You could have federal work study as well as student loans. And so at the end of the day, your actual out-of-pocket costs might actually be lower at a Catholic institution than, say, a larger public institution or an in-state public. So one of the things that I think all my colleagues would say is, when you start out that process, never rule one of the Catholic schools out at the beginning because of price. They typically, their financial aid office would be happy to talk you through that process of filing the FAFSA and answer any questions that you have about financial aid. And so, yeah, that is what I would have. Do any of my colleagues have anything additional they would want to add for that?
I would just want to add, I don't want students to be afraid of the prices that they see with Catholic schools and private schools, because a lot of the times they think public school looks cheaper, maybe I should go there because it's more affordable. But in all actuality, a lot of the times private schools gives you a lot more money. So it's free to file your FAFSA just for you to see how much money that a school is going to give you. So I don't ever want you guys to be afraid of that number. And I'm sure wherever you go, you'll have amazing admissions counselors that will walk you through that process.
Awesome. Thanks, Amber. One of the other things I forgot was, sometimes if you are coming from a Catholic or a Jesuit school like Dominik and ours, they would give you an additional money like a Catholic high school award or a Jesuit high school award. So make sure that that you are working with your admission counselors in that. All right, and I think Amber's up next with this. She might be frozen. Give her 1 second to see if she can unfreeze.
All right, can you guys hear me? Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, so for this myth, they will try to convert me to Catholicism, and that is definitely not true. So going off of the first myth, you will not be converted. You are your own person, and you grow as you continue your 4 years. So at Caldwell, you're mostly learning about the backgrounds and the perspectives of other students while you're sharing your own. So at Caldwell, you do have to take 2 theology classes. And a lot of the times that is what students think, that we're trying to convert them. But no, in all actuality, we just want you to learn about the faith that Caldwell was built off of. And you're doing a lot of interacting activities where you're sharing your own thoughts. So not only are you getting to share what you believe and what you value, but you're getting to learn what other people value as well. And there are so many other opportunities to learn. It's not just in the classroom. So there are plenty of different clubs, there are organizations, there are different type of volunteering activities. We even have volunteering activities that are overseas for you to learn about different types of faith. So no, we're definitely not going to convert you. You are welcomed as you are. And of course, as I said in the beginning, you definitely get to grow as you continue your 4 years. So if you guys have anything to add, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, great. So myth number 6, everyone at a Catholic school is super conservative. So my first question to a family, if this comes up, is to define conservative for themselves. What do they feel is conservative? We all know that, you know, there's a continuum of conservatism, liberalism, right? There's the political aspect of it, and then there's also kind of the I don't know, I'll say everyday living piece of it. There's economic conservatism. So when you ask that question, what do you mean? What is it that you're looking for, right? And where do you feel you fit in that spectrum? I would say that at all of our schools, Catholic or otherwise, that you're going to find a wide range of students, that you're going to find students who hopefully have done their research ahead of time and understand the environment that they're in. There are, certain missions and core beliefs of all of our schools. I think even within the Catholic tradition, even within the realm of Catholic schools, Jesuit, Franciscan, friars, otherwise, you're going to find, again, a continuum of places that maybe are a little more conservative, a little more, I'll say letter of the law, but that sounds negative, and I don't mean it that way. And others who, have a wider interpretation, of the Gospels and the Bible. So I think it's going to vary. I think some of our institutions, like my own, will always have a priest as the, as the head of the institution. Will always have a religious person. There are others who are mostly lay people who are running the institution. So I think, again, it's not a one size fits all. It's not a one answer for every Catholic school out there. I think even within our 4 schools that are represented here, you're going to find some variation of who might be a little more conservative than others. But in the end, I'd say no, super conservative is not going to be the answer that you're going to find at all of our schools. You will find some students perhaps who are much more conservative, again, depending on your definition, than others. You're going to walk onto some campuses and think, wow, this place is really liberal. And the person behind you may think that it still has some room to be more liberal. So dig deeper in your research. And, again, look at the website, look at the messaging, look at the student newspaper and see what kinds of issues are brought up and where there are points of contention and whatnot on campus as well. Anybody else?
All right, myth number 7. A Catholic school will have no diversity. Not true, definitely not true. I guess just to start with some very basic facts to kind of prove that this is a myth. I don't have the exact numbers, but if you look at any of the kind of college rankings for diversity, there's always a handful of Catholic schools near the top of that are very diverse. Just for Regis this past year, 50% of our class come from historically underrepresented backgrounds. So kind of building a diverse community there, a number that we're really proud of. But I think just in general, kind of with Catholic schools, there's a big push for equality and inclusion of those underrepresented backgrounds. We kind of want to mirror our community, both our country, our world, that is a rapidly kind of getting more diverse. So our schools want to match that. We want to kind of mirror our community and have that diversity. And in the classroom, that push for diversity kind of helps everyone. When you have all those different backgrounds in the classroom, conversation is more engaging. You're challenged in your way of thinking with all those backgrounds. So it helps in the classroom as well. And it really kind of pushes you to kind of reflect on your background, reflect on your thoughts, and kind of challenge your way of thinking on a lot of these issues. And then outside of the typical version of diversity, there's a lot of different versions of diversity out there, whether it's academic, socioeconomic, geographic diversity, whatever it is. Most Catholic schools really push for diversity any way they can get it, to again kind of bring in those different backgrounds and really challenge your way of thinking.
Okay, awesome. So we are on our last myth, myth number 8, right? So the myth is Catholic schools are stuck in the past with innovation and technology. And I would say that all of us would tell you that that couldn't be farther from the truth. As Amber was mentioning, we are faith-based, right? So you don't have to be Catholic to come here, but we're part of, all of us focus on educating that whole person. And so part of that is giving you hands-on experience, part of that is having that cutting edge technology. So I would say all of our schools have very high-tech technology, right? Everyone had to be virtual at some point within the last year and a half. And so that did force some schools, both public and private, to update some of their technology. But really and truly, being a faith-based, mission-based institution does not limit innovation. There are a ton of opportunities for research, internships, shadowing, different fields. So all of our schools will have those different opportunities for that hands-on experience, as well as that updated technology. What I think is so important about a Catholic institution when it comes to technology and looking at it is that they really focus on teaching students to think, teaching students how to think, not what to think, right? And I hope that that's one of the things that you have gathered is they're not teaching you how to be Catholic, they're not teaching you how to think about that, but they're trying to teach you to think through what decisions you make and how that impacts others, right? And so as part of a Catholic community, that focus on that community. And so the decisions you make in every day once you go out into that world do have impact on everyone, right? So whether you're the CEO, that decision you make impacts everyone in the institution and that business institution. And so we will have theology classes, we'll have philosophy classes to teach you ethics and to teach you basically how to think, not necessarily what to think. But this really allows our students to have that creativity as well as that innovation and design and implementation in your field. So those are some of the things that I think are really important, is that Catholic schools aren't stuck in the past. They are really continuing to be on that cutting edge of updating their majors, their core curriculum, and everything else to give you the best value when you do come to our institutions. Does anyone have anything else to offer? All right, I think the last thing we have are questions.
Wonderful. And while those questions are being shared in the Q&A, I will just go ahead and share this final slide. I want to thank all of our panelists for being here and sharing great information about the Catholic colleges this evening. As we close out this session, there will be an opportunity for you to provide a provide feedback on a quick survey, which is 5 questions. Want to encourage you to also sign up for the additional sessions that are happening this afternoon, and know that this recording will be available at strivescan.com/NCCAA. So at this time, I do not see any questions, so we can go ahead and end the webinar. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Danielle. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
All right, go Friars.